On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Major lot of news going on. I got a huge show, a lot of good stuff in the show, and got featured recently. I wanted to play this because I thought this was cool. I had two different people close to the channel that actually shared this. Upside Down Media put this out. Cywar's the name of it. It was just a short little thing, but I thought it was pretty sweet. And me and my boy Alpha, we got featured in it, which I think is cool, and some others. But you know, I'm excited about the me part.
With the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
Shadows in the sky, footsteps in the night behind me.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me.
Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Bird flu is sweeping across the country. Get vaccinated or risk losing your job.
Protests now storming the barbed wire fence in Texas.
False claim.
People resting the Department of Justice is speaking dropping off their balance.
As I wait to say my last goodbye.
I suddenly feel like things couldn't possibly get any worse.
I think very well done. So, yeah, very super cool. Upside Down Media, well done. And, of course, that's always good to hear that stuff. Unfortunately, we have lost Ozzy. Ozzy passed away. Pretty crazy that he actually died. We heard unhealthy. He certainly did have some final, his last little show with Black Sabbath, he just finished. All of his kids had said, like, if he could die now because he's finally accomplished everything that matters. And, well, here he is exactly doing that. So this was one of the signs, I guess, outside. He posted this stuff on Instagram just prior. This was his last post. So back to the beginning, the final show. And again, the original guys. So very cool stuff. I don't know. I thought it was interesting he wore the giant cross. I thought he was a little more anti that stuff, frankly, which is odd. But yeah, so, yeah, Ozzy's passed away. Very sad. FDA upgrades recall on 160,000 bottles of a popular thyroid medication. Kind of only bringing it up. Figure maybe some of y'all take this out there. It is the levothyroxine tablets. They're saying it's subpotent. It's not strong enough. It's not got enough of the stuff inside of it that it's supposed to. So you might want to go back on that one if you've got those. Also, Amazon, they warned I guess all 220 million Prime members of scammer attacks, if you get any sort of emails at all saying, hey, something's up with your Amazon account, something's wrong with this order, something's here, something's there, don't use the emails. I've said this a bunch. It was a good reminder. Go through your Amazon account, log into Amazon.com, go into there, log in, take care of whatever it is the email's claiming is the problem. And if you don't find the problem when you log into your account, then there's not a problem and you almost got phished. Don't click on the links. Don't log in through their thing. Don't give the information to them, because that's what they'll do is they'll steal your account, essentially, or buy a bunch of crap on it. So don't do that. Be careful. Donald Trump put this out. Let's see. Delta flight frantically halts takeoff. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. This isn't Donald Trump thing. This is just what they're playing. What happened? We had a Delta flight, and this is in Mexico, by the way, so they can't blame our airport stuff. But Delta plane was starting to go down the runway to take off. Literally, either knew or someone screamed in his ear, full brakes, stopped the thing, and a plane literally landed 200 feet in front of the jet. That's extraordinarily close. Just considering how low they probably... that's extraordinarily close. So they went and checked the plane out afterwards. They ended up taking off, I think, a couple hours later. So they didn't do any damage. Sometimes, though, when you hit hard brakes like that, they got to check the tires. They got to check the brakes. That kind of stuff isn't good. So almost had a crash. Not sure if that was intentional. This might have been thwarted. Again, it's funny how blessings and, like Trump looking at the thing, right? Assuming, he looked at the thing at the last moment, the perfect second, and the bullet missed. The actual kill shot, too. That would have been the kill shot. And then the 8 subsequent shots that weren't even near. Donald Trump truthed this out. Breaking news. We have just achieved a big and important win in our historic lawsuit against 60 Minutes, CBS, and Paramount. Just like ABC and George Slopapadopoulos, CBS and its corporate owners knew that they defrauded the American people and were desperate to settle. Paramount, CBS, 60 Minutes have today paid $16 million in settlement, and we also anticipate receiving $20 million more from the new owners in advertising, PSA, or other similar programming for a total of over $36 million. This is another in a long line of victories over the fake news media who are holding to account for, or who are holding to account for their widespread fraud and deceit. The Wall Street Journal, the failing New York Times, the Washington Post, MSDNC, CNN, and all other mainstream media liars are on notice that the days of them being allowed to deceive the American people are over. Make America great again, please. Paramount also said the settlement's going to include Trump's legal fees and costs, adding the $16 million minus the legal costs will go towards Trump's presidential library. As part of the settlement, Paramount also agreed to release transcripts of 60 Minutes interviews with eligible U.S. presidential candidates after such interviews have aired, subject to redactions as required for legal or national security concerns. The settlement does not include an apology. I don't think one's needed, but I think if everybody can see what they covered up, I think Trump will have accomplished a great thing. Oddly, David Letterman, I just think it's funny. There's so many people that have rushed to defend Colbert for losing his show and calling out CBS for this. And many people think it's because of the trying to make good with Trump. And it's no. Colbert's show was losing $40 million a year and had been for many, many years, like 8 years. Just in case anyone comes at you with that crazy notion, you're just like, dude, he was losing money on his show forever. No, had nothing to do with Trump. If it did, all right, but he was losing money on his show. Like 40 million or whatever. Crazy amount of money. The ongoing tussle between President Trump and the Associated Press reached a pivotal moment today when the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals denied the AP's petition for a rehearing en banc. This leaves standing the court's June 6 panel ruling, which largely reinstates the White House's ban on AP journalists from key press pool areas like the Oval Office, Air Force One, and Mar-a-Lago. It is clear affirmation of the president's authority to manage access in private workspaces, even if it ruffles feathers in the press corps. Oh, yeah, too bad for you, AP. AP keeps failing. Microsoft says China-linked hackers used the recent security exploits in the hacking spree. I saw that over 400 companies have been affected by this SharePoint issue. People that have local SharePoint sites, not necessarily the cloud-based ones. I think China or Microsoft. Funny misspeak. Microsoft patched those pretty quickly, I bet. So yeah, needless to say, many said they knew about this for a while and didn't do anything about it, and then all of a sudden it got used in a bad way, and they immediately had to make it a problem that they were going to fix and deal with. And I get it. I've worked in software shops. Last thing you want to do is fix what they call tech debt, or fix stuff that isn't really broken, but it's not good. We've got this AI agent apparently goes rogue with this company. It wiped out the company's entire database. It's interesting. This database doesn't seem very large. It says there's 2,400 business records. It's like, woo, really? That many? Woo! No offense, but that's nothing. I'm used to dealing with millions of records, multiple tables, all with more than a million of records. Easy. It's retarded. So 2,400 business records? Gee. Again, that would suck to have to recreate. Hopefully they had a backup before they started doing something stupid with AI. But again, it's just funny. Talking about how, many people are freaked out about AI, but I think a lot of people are just letting these systems into their back ends, their front end. I mean, what they're doing is it's borderline dangerous, frankly, I think. But we'll see. This kind of stuff's going to continue to happen. There's going to be a number of mishaps with AI. People think the commercial version of AI is a lot further along than it is. It's probably not. We'll see how these things continue to play out, though. Some info came out around Martin Luther King. I don't know why. I know he was killed. So it's like I think there's a lot of people out there that this is going to be part of the awakening for them, and you totally got to dig into this stuff for sure. There's going to be so much information that's going to come out around it. People are going to do videos on it. I probably won't spend huge amounts of time on it. Totally CIA. Not even shocked. A few weird data points in here. Texas man claimed early encounter with MLK's killer. One Texas man, Joseph Mayer, told investigators that he may have seen MLK's killer in Mississippi 2 weeks prior to the killing. A bunch of documents detailing accusations of the Johnson administration. This is the one that somebody read. They could read this line right here, this part. It's impossible to read. And they had a thing, this was her actually, that was calling it. Anyway, whatever the case is, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come out. Ultimately, CIA was involved. You shouldn't be shocked, shouldn't be surprised. Going to play the video. Had Mike Lindell on, some really good news that he had. Let's do this, and then we've got, of course, great deals going on. But, of course, mypillow.com/OTF. That's mypillow.com/OTF. Let's get some of that good news from Mike and I. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Doing great. Biggest news in 5 years. This should make on your show. You're the second one to know. You know the $5 million challenge?
No, talk to me.
You never knew about that? It was the number one story in the world that Mike Lindell's information was bad. He owes $5 million.
I vaguely remember that. This is going back to the last election, right?
Well,
right after
the judges in Minnesota, they just overturned it.
Oh, fantastic!
That all my evidence is real. It's all good. It's bizarre.
Well, keep going. We're recording already, so let's just. I feel like this is the perfect way to start. So, Mike, it's nice to have you back, just from that standpoint. But give us more info on this. Break this down.
Yeah, this is everybody. The $5 million challenge. Everybody, this was what came out of the Cyber Symposium in the summer of 2021. And I put out a $5 million challenge that all the evidence I have was from the 2020 election. All the cyber guys was there, and nobody questioned the challenge. Of course, it was from the 2020 election.
I do remember that now.
It wasn't to prove that it was overturning the 2020 election. It was just to show that the data that was all from the 2020 election. That was the challenge. All the cyber guys were there from all over the world. Nobody challenged except for one guy, and it was later on. This Zeidman guy who had ties to, we're not even going to get into that, where he had ties to. It was all, I believe, a setup to discredit Mike Lindell. So that you talk about evidence, we're going to suppress you. Well, that challenge, everybody, it went to court. It went to a committee. That's what the challenge did, and they said, no, you're wrong. Your challenge is wrong. So he lost.
Nice.
Well, then if you can appeal that to binding arbitration, it goes before 3 judges in Minnesota, and it came up here, and it was completely, I don't know, you call it whatever you want, but they ruled that I owed $5 million. It was impossible. It was like they put stuff in there. It was impossible. So here's what happened, everybody, and you got to know the timing of this. They didn't rule on this for 4 months. And what happened then, all of a sudden in 1 week on a Tuesday, they come out that Dominion owes Fox News $787 million. On Wednesday, it says Mike Lindell, all his evidence is bad. He owes $5 million on his challenge. And then on Friday, they fight. Then on Friday, I'm on here right now, but hang on, Gene. On Friday, they fired Tucker on a Friday from Fox News. So that was sent the #1 story in the world. Mike Lindell loses $5 million. Well, guess what, everybody? Today, the federal judges in Minnesota overturned that, vindicated Mike Lindell.
Nice.
All the evidence is there.
Nice.
This is so big, you can't even imagine.
Well done.
I can't imagine. This is going to open doors that no man can shut. The only thing is, we need to spread the word, because you know what? You ain't going to see this on Fox News or Newsmax or Salem Media. You know, you're going to see it on great shows like Flashpoint is where you're going to see it, everybody.
And certainly.
And Lindell TV and your show.
Yep.
And your show. And this is where we're at. We've got a bigger voice now to get this word out.
Yeah.
Because the world needs to know. And this also ties back to Tina Peters, too. They got her in the Cyber Symposium. All the evidence that's up on Lindell TV right now, the images right there. She went to court yesterday, everybody. They shoved it off for another 2 weeks. But I've told the White House, they said the easiest way to get her out is pull her out put her in the witness protection program so they don't try and kill her, these criminals and the deep state globalists. And all these criminals in Colorado, like the Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, and Dominion, that these guys are keeping her. They 9 years in prison, Gold Star mom, a grandmother, and all this. But this is huge news.
And she had proof they changed the data. It was
happened 30 minutes ago.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, congratulations, by the way. You've been fighting very hard. What is it, Linda? What is it? Trial? I got it in here. Let's plug that really quick if you don't. There it is. MyPillowTrial.com. If any of you guys out there can maybe throw some.
MyPillowTrial.com. You guys can go there and you want to check that out. You want to help out, because right now we're moving forward.
This is big.
I'm going to be in Washington D.C. tomorrow.
Nice.
Reporting from LindellTV.com. I'm going to be there live from the White House, and I don't know how the media is going to be able to avoid me. This is God's perfect timing.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to. They're not calling. My phone's not ringing off the hook. I mean, it should be ringing off the hook, boy. When they say I lost the $5 million, I spent 2 days and over 150 phone calls.
Yeah, now they don't care because it's not the scandal story.
Now they don't care.
Was it the appellate court that kicked it down, or who?
No, it was binding arbitration. The odds of an appellate court. Odds of a court overturning something like this is less than 0.1%. They never overturn binding arbitration.
I would say the odds of you winning a case in your state is about that same.
In Minnesota, that's another odds.
Yeah.
God, all things are possible.
Amen. That is proof. That is proof, by the way. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, Mike, we got some sweet deals, I think, going on, too. Obviously, we're going to have people checking out Frank's speech tomorrow. You guys check out Mike Lindell. He's going to be out there live, and I'm sure. Do you have a rough time, do you know? Or... And we can get people.
Yeah, it'll be if you go to LindellTV.com. I'm going to be there from noon Eastern time to all the way, or from 10 Eastern time all the way to 3 Eastern time.
Very cool.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be harassing all the reporters from all these news outlets. Say, hey, you guys, what? You're not going to tell that hey, the evidence is good. You know. Gee, there is problems in our elections.
You're all over me like white on rice the second bad thing.
It's going to be a fun day in D.C. They can run, but they can't hide on that one.
I love it. Mike, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, and you guys, if you guys want to support My Pillow, this is another big win for us here. By the way, this comes on the heels of the IRS taking away all of my deductions for Lindell TV back when I started it in 2021, and they're telling me I owe them another $12 million. I go, because they called it political and entertainment for Mike Lindell instead of building a network. You can't make this up. My lawyer's accountant said they said this is they've never seen anything like it. It's a political attack. So, but God's going to take care of that too. But
yeah.
you guys, to help My Pillow and my employee-owned company as we continue to get attacked, we go. You guys can get. We put up it's an outlet sale on mypillow.com. You guys go to this outlet sale, and people come from all over the world to our one outlet here in Minnesota, and we put all that stuff up. Clothing line. If you think you have everything in My Pillow, you don't. We have a clothing line, everything for the kitchen, from oven pads to
the mitts,
kitchen towels, and all these different things. But we have a clothing line that we're closing out. These are things we have in the outlet store that we don't have normally on the website. So that's a big thing that they can get right now.
Wow, fantastic. And I did notice, by the way, and I don't know if this is just special for right now, but it is such a sweet deal. I've been pushing the heck out of it. The slippers, you guys are like giving them away now at $39.98?
Yeah, we're closing out the slipper line. By the way, you guys use promo code OTF and call 800-654-4398. Yeah, this will be part of that overstock. We're closing out our slipper line, the best slippers in the world. $39.98, you guys, are normally $149.
Yeah, they'll never be that cheap again, ever. That's an incredible deal. And the Giza sheets, too, any size, $49.98. We got incredible stuff going on right now, so I love it.
Yeah, I've got all the slippers you can imagine, moccasin slippers.
I tell people it's like you're putting your foot into a cloud. It's just it's such a magnificent feeling.
Remember, they're made with impact gel out of soybeans, actually, something that's never been used. It's the most amazing thing to put in footwear that ever developed.
Yeah, there's like 7 layers or something.
Too. You guys, sandals too. We're closing them out for the season. You guys get them, $19.98. Some of them are $9.98. I mean, this is so go there now. Promo code OTF, you guys, and get everything you want. It's an exciting day for My Pillow, and we're thanking you all with these sales. Promo code OTF, 800-654-4398.
That's awesome. And mypillowtrial.com, mypillowtrial.com for any of you that can help support this movement. Mike is really opening a lot of doors for all of us. It's not just trying to defend himself.
You guys, we're well on our way to securing our elections and saving our country. It's a big victory today.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you being here, sir. We will talk again soon. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Jan. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah, so again, some great stuff. Just call it out again. I got the slippers. I brought mine over finally. But yeah, look at how thick that is. At first, I'm telling you, those things are awesome. There we go. You can see it in there. It's just like a cloud. $39.98. These are incredible. It's got like a no-stick sole on it, stitched on the side. They're really, really well made. Fantastic. Plus all the other good stuff. We've already gone a bunch of time. But mypillow.com/OTF. Mypillow.com/OTF. It helps the whole channel. It helps Mike's legal woes, and it helps the employee-owned company by buying these products. Again, high thread count sheets, $49.98. This stuff's going away. Take advantage of it while you can, because, again, not every channel gets these sweet, sweet deals. All right, Dems fails are happening all over the place, it seems. $100 million in Palisades relief has disappeared. We talked about it yesterday. I just didn't want to let it go just yet. Fire victims lost everything, but not a single dollar from the $100 million raised ever reached them. California Democrats funneled it to nonprofits instead. This is totally what corruption looks like. They actually found, in some cases, what was their story in here? They found that it went to an RV park that helps, like some facility, some non-government organization that helps, this the park where you park your mobile homes or whatever, right? One of those things. Well, they went to the 2 different ones that existed in Palisades. Neither one of them have heard of the organization or ever got any money from them. The money was just stolen. Straight up. Stolen. Even spell it wrong with the extra L, right? Feds arrested a legal alien who served only 3.5 years in prison for killing 2 teens in Sanctuary State City. Twice deported. Convicted of killing 19-year-olds, Anna, I don't want to say their names, crazy names anyways, but killed them both. They actually burned to death in their car, which is pretty horrible. But again, this is just how our government here in California works. This is the guy that Gavin Newsom's going to try running for president. I don't think he's going to make it, but I don't think anyone will, frankly, especially after we continue to show what's going on. But this guy's in in a sanctuary city, and because of that, ICE isn't going to come in and take him, and it's ridiculous. Gavin Newsome demands immediate withdrawal of soldiers from the LA. He does it after Trump pulls the troops out. Trump's already said, yeah, I'm pulling them out, and then he's like, yeah, you got to get them out of there. So I think he tried to capitalize on the timing that was already happening and just, trying to get a win because he keeps failing. Hakeem Jeffries thinks Democrats are going to miss the shot to retake the House because of socialist Mamdani. And they're already getting ready to blame him. I love it. It's probably going to hurt the party tremendously. It'll split it, which is what needs to happen. But, the progressives need to be kind of put to the side, and everybody needs to see who they are and realize that. And then maybe if there is a future for the Democrat Party, which is questionable, then you'd have to move on without the crazy progressives. Otherwise, if you can't shake that flea off, you guys are going to get sicker than sick. Americans firmly oppose amnesty for illegal aliens, back Trump's deportation agenda. That's just another poll. McLaughlin and Associates is one I think is, shared with Breitbart. Find 77% of likely American voters believe it's neither fair nor right. People are overwhelmingly not okay with this, and especially the ones that make the immigration argument. Well, you're a land of immigrants. Yes, but not illegal immigrants. Everyone came through port of entry. My family did. Most people's families did. Some nowadays haven't and don't care, don't respect the process, don't respect trying to become a citizen, wanting to be a citizen, not just wanting to come here and get a job and make money. Yay. That's like, like a mosquito. Just take a little blood. That's all I'm doing. Just let it go. Yeah, but it itches. I know, but just taking a little. So, whatever. Democrats divided over looming government shutdowns. This is going to be fun because there's some of them that want the shutdown. The problem is, again, whoever does the shutdown, whoever does or causes the shutdown is their fault, and they typically lose a crap ton of votes. This is kind of where I think they're already starting to blame Mamdani, because it's going to be the progressives that will hold out, and they will probably cost, well, we'll see. I don't know. But if they pull it off, which I think they will, and hell, we got people like Massey that'll join them. If they pull it off, a government shutdown, first off, Trump's going to be able to appoint everybody, which that'll be fantastic. So it'll be a great thing if it happens, in my opinion, for numerous reasons. Two, it's going to cost the Democrats a crap ton of seats in the House, for sure, and definitely in the Senate. It'll be a done deal. So they're having a hard time with it. They know. They know they can't do anything else. They're running out of options. And again, like the video that started, they literally will burn this thing down. They will burn this biatch down rather than hand it over. Here's another crazy conspiracy theory. Here's someone actually saying the thing out loud that you're not supposed to. This is Rep. Is it Yvette? Is that how you say that? I believe it is. Yvette Clark, Democrat from New York. Here's how she feels about illegal immigrants because, she needs more seats, baby.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here.
To quote her, she said, just for redistricting purposes. Bring them here, just for redistricting purposes. First off, obviously that's kind of felonious because they shouldn't count. Second, that's all she thinks of you. If you're one of these people that aren't here legally. She doesn't even care about your ass. She just wants you as a number. Dem fundraising giant Act Blue is hit with subpoena by the top House committee. This is a big deal. So the timing of this is going to be precious. I thought it would happen before the last election. I've been talking about it. I'm assuming it's going to happen before this election because Act Blue is one of the biggest fundraising arms and it's been done illegally. So dark money fundraising arm in a lot of things anyways. There's a lot of dark money that seems to flow through there, if you will. It's like the like Bitcoin of political fundraising. They get shut down or not allowed to do business quite the same way anymore, and then gee whiz, all of a sudden, Democrat money dries up right before the election, right after possibly shutting down the government. And again, they'll try to shut the government down to stop some of these things, but I'm sure Trump's already got a lot of these things set as the emergency that like they need to be going still because they're part of whatever. I don't know, there's some, I'm sure, legalese that they say as a, you know, in order to make the government function, right? You don't shut down police, you don't shut down the military. Like, there's just things you don't shut down, right? So I'll bet you there's some stuff that's included in that the Democrats didn't thunk it out too good. Empty outrage over Medicaid cuts. They're just kind of calling people out on this. Like all the governors that are like, this is insane what you've done. You're going to cause hospitals to shut down. And they're like, dude, you can fund them yourselves. If you think it's that big a deal, well, you got coffers. Fund them yourself. Put your money where your mouth is. And then all of a sudden they're like, we liked the free money. Yeah, I bet you did. But government, the taxpayers of the federal country don't have to pay for your little problem. That's your problem. Fund it yourself. Yeah. They, of course, want the free money. Felon who allegedly barreled car through LA nightclub. He faces 37 attempted murder charges. I thought at first they were saying it seemed like it was an accident, like he may have passed out. That definitely doesn't seem to be the case because this gentleman, let's call him that, he got 37 people very injured. Nobody died, it seems. Oddly, we figured out the gunshot thing too. So what happened after he went barreling through 37 people, took out the stand for the to get inside the restaurant and some other, I don't know, weird thing they busted up there on the sidewalk. They took out all this stuff. A dude walked in, pulled him out of the car, and shot him. That's what happened. That's how he got shot. They haven't caught him yet. They're working on it, I guess. But that's where the dude that did all this even got shot after doing all this. So talk about some instant karma, for that matter. He's apparently still alive, and I believe he's legal here, by the way. His name's Fernando Ramirez. He's 29 from San Clemente. Yeah, 37 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, all felonies from a crash that left 37 injured. He'll likely would go to jail for life. Probably wouldn't kill him here, especially in this state. Oh, that boat captain, right? Remember you guys, I showed this video, the dude that ran into the aircraft carrier. Whoops, where'd that come from? Down in San Diego. It's pretty cool. I've been on it a couple times. It's just cool as hell. I actually worked in a hospital kitchen one time too, and it was so fun to see that all the kitchen stuff was like exactly what I used to work with. It just tripped me out. I was like, no way, that's like exact same stuff. Also, one of the guys was a Navy cook, so it all made sense. Anyway, it was a stupid side story. This boat caused, they said $500,000 of damage, $100,000 of damage, whatever. Yeah, 4 months, it's going to be $500,000. But $100,000 of damage, probably paint, I'm assuming. Yay, this thing's going to finally get repainted. But it was a hit and run. He got arrested. He's in big trouble. Big trouble. I thought he would be. He got boarded. He was probably drunk. I think that's what they claimed. Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard, but they're doing this little fast one. And it's kind of sweet how this played out. So Obama and the Biden judges, they push Alina Habba out of the U.S. attorney role. All right, so they had their little vote, and they kicked her out. Right, so the Senate confirmation currently appears blocked as the New Jersey Democrat Senator Cory Booker and Andy Kim, which, by the way, isn't even like, that's not even a legal thing. It's just something that they usually do to be nice. Doesn't have to be that way. So that's always one opportunity, is they can just say, you guys can't block this. This is ridiculous. We need to put a person in, and it's not going to be somebody that you're going to like. And that's it. And just stop being nice. That's what it comes down to. This isn't a law. This is just what they've typically done. Now, we'd prefer not to break that. So all said, U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche defended Habba, yada, yada. We, of course, need someone in like her. That she's the one that even went after McIver, and then the governor as well, but they dropped those charges. So yeah, this judge, when judges act like activists and undermine confidence in our system, Alina is President Trump's choice to lead, and no partisan bench can overreach that or override that. Now, Attorney General Pam Bondi on Tuesday night announced that the court selection interim U.S. attorney for New Jersey has been removed. What happened was the move came after the New Jersey 17 U.S. District Court judges chose to replace Haba. They chose to replace her on Tuesday with her first assistant U.S. attorney, Desiree Lee Grace, who was probably a deep state person. The vote to and this might have been the plan all along, by the way. The vote to replace Haba instead of extending her role occurred at her 120-day term winds down. So the 17 judges decided to replace her with their choice, or the second in command, sure. What General Pam Bondi says is, Grace is fired. Fired. Not even we're going to move her to another department. She's fired. Haba's been doing a good job in making New Jersey safe again. Nonetheless, politically minded judges refused to allow her to continue in her position, replacing Alina with the first assistant. And Bondi said this on X. Accordingly, the first assistant United States attorney in New Jersey has just been removed. This Department of Justice does not tolerate rogue judges, especially when they threaten the U.S. President core Article 2 powers. Now, she's been removed. I think she was fired. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Fact check me on that one. But two Democratic New Jersey senators, Cory Booker and Andy Kim, have slammed the Justice Department. See, they were trying to do some stuff. They were trying to sneak in their people. We're up to it. We're hip. We get it. They're fighting us every way, guys. And that's where a lot of people ask, why hasn't the list come out? Why hasn't this happened? Why hasn't that happened? Why are they still pretending in some cases? Because we don't have full control, folks. Not yet. We're making awesome strides, but it's, He's there. I thought I had the video. There's like almost 1,000 people that have to get appointed through the Senate. I do. Ron Johnson's going to talk about it. Almost 1,000 people. They've only, there's a bunch they got to go. Federal judge is blocking the state DEI ban. He's slowing it down, of course. U.S. District Court Judge Henry Wingate, appointed by Reagan, by the way, which many would be like, well, he should be on our side. This dude's 5,000 years old. All right, 78, but same thing. So, he was probably bought long ago. Please, get out of here. But I'm surprised he's still alive, frankly. He issued a temporary restraining order on Sunday against the Mississippi law that bans diversity, equity, inclusion programs from public schools and universities. It's being slowed down for a second. I'm sure it's the states, their argument, obviously, supporting what Trump is doing, but on top of that, that's what they want to do as a state. Maybe they got to put it up for a vote. Who knows? Federal judge dismisses election integrity lawsuit against Wyoming Secretary of State Chuck Gray. Federal judge on Tuesday dismissed it. Apparently challenged a state law that required voters to provide proof of U.S. citizenship and state residency to vote. U.S. District Judge Scott Skavdal dismissed the case, which was brought by the Equality State Police Center through its attorney, Mark Elias. The lawsuit challenged Wyoming House Bill 156. Gray celebrated the dismissal in a statement claiming that the state law was common sense and was aligned with President Trump's priorities and election integrity stuff. So we are making progress, folks. U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani. She's got the temporary injunction partially blocking a federal law from cutting Medicaid funds to certain Planned Parenthood affiliate faces an appeal. It has now been officially appealed. It'll take probably a very short period of time for them to overturn Indira Talwani, because I believe she's already got a couple strikes against her. And what's going to be interesting is these judges that have done multiple attempts at stopping the Trump administration, every single one of them will have this judicial experience thing. And we'll get to watch that play out. They will lose their robes. They will lose their, whatever. They will be shamed. They'd probably even take away their law license, I would assume, because of how this was ridiculous, how over the top, how much against the Constitution when they swore to defend it. And that's not been what they're doing. It'll be interesting. Rubio is announcing investigations into Harvard's eligibility for the exchange visitor program. We'll find out where that gets us, but he's not dicking around, or that's for sure. Former Epstein lawyer, Roy Black, he dies at the age of 80. I find this interesting. Roy Black, criminal defense attorney who defended notable clients, including disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, died Monday at 80 years old, his law firm has confirmed. I mean, either God chose it or someone chose it for God, right? Interesting. That's all I can say. I don't know. Just coincidence. Let's call it that. What Gizlane Maxwell really knows and why she could finally spill all on Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, this whole video, I got stuck watching it because it's a bunch of Asian people fighting on a plane. And beautiful Asian people, by the way. Oh, my gosh. This chick here, oh, I like her. She's got a mouth on her. I don't know if she's the reason this whole thing started because someone wouldn't stop talking. But this red-haired chick over here, which is, you got to figure that's the equivalent in Japan of our crazy people. But yeah, no, this is brute. This chick right here. Oh yeah, she's, You guys know, I can't help myself. That said, that's not what the whole story was, but it distracted me. That chick hopped over the chair and everything, dude. Anyway. Ghislaine Maxwell, she tried to cut a deal. This is going to be happening. They're getting in front of this. Even, and I think I already screwed it up, but even Dershowitz, somewhere in here he goes, he referred to Maxwell 63 as the Rosetta Stone of information about Epstein and told the Post today she knows everything, not just about the perpetrators, but the victims. And she knows about the victims who became perpetrators. She probably knows more than Epstein, is what we're finding out. You see, I think all of us have been so stuck on Epstein that this is a fun little, I think, play on things because a lot of times most people assume the dude's at fault. Hillary Clinton, I think, is a different story. And certainly Ghislaine Maxwell and her father, she probably brought Epstein in. Epstein was a loose end. She is still alive. Why is that? Again, either we're protecting her or they're protecting her or she's just generally protected because there literally are people that you're not allowed to touch. And in many cases, if you try to, negative things befall you. It's just the way it works out. So, some shizzle's coming, folks. Don't get too hung up on Epstein per se. We might have all we need. I've been saying this all along. Oh, this is so cool. Proud Patriots. I wish their link was better. That's my only, it's tough as hell. It's on the screen. If you want to pause it and type that in, you're helping the channel. I would appreciate it. It's a hell of a lot of effort. There is a link in the description box. Less effort, but might require you to actually drill in. I don't know where you're watching me. I certainly know where you're probably not watching me because they don't show my videos anymore. That said, Proud Patriots has some really cool stuff, man. It trips me out. I'm going to go on a little shopping binge one of these days. I love crazy pens. I don't know. I might pick up one of those. I'll think about it. The watches, I don't know. I got like one watch. $2 bills, though. They got a butt ton of these $2 bills things. Check these out. This is like the higher seller stuff. Here's Trump on a $2 bill. This is legal tender. I don't know how they put just whatever face they want to, though. It doesn't make any sense to me. But these are supposedly legal tender. We also got, and look for some fine print when you go to buy them, but I think they're legitimate dollars. This Trump bear is so cute. I got him sitting over here, but he's like in a cool little, I got a little corner, little stand thing, and it's got like 3 little glass shelves. It's one of the things. It's just like I see it every day. It reminds me of work, you know? And this is my office, basically, and I love it. Bobblehead, $2 Melania Trump, the pen. I like the pens. I like pens. I'm a weirdo with that kind of stuff. Again, some stealth stuff. They got lots of pages. Let's just check out the 3. Let's just jump around. They got coins. They got so many cool things. And so, again, I just think this company's got a lot of fun stuff. Money type things. All kind of like patriotic. All kind of around Trump and MAGA. Like, they just do a really good job at it. They do a really good job at it, frankly. And I don't know. You're helping the channel out a bunch. And you're getting some really cool stuff that you can wear, you can show. Like, you know, the MAGA watch is pretty cool. If you go to places and you got that, you know, the liberal family that just hates anything, Like, what'd you bring that Trump wine for? You know, like they got it all going on here. Go to the Proud Patriots, hit the link if you can, pause if you can. If not, I don't know if you can. I don't even know if, I don't think there's a code other than that. Yeah, the link. I think the link is the only way I get credit. If you don't, it's too much. Just hit proudpatriots.us. Take me out of the link, man. I don't care. Stuff's really cool. You know, I'd love it if you help a brother out. That said, I love you guys. We got to keep fighting, and sometimes this sort of merch is the perfect way to do it. All right, let's do this. Obama's office, they respond to Trump's accusations of treason. It's outrageous, he says. It's outrageous that we would push anything like that. Obama spokesperson responds to outrageous and bizarre claims from Trump and Gabbard. Statement from Patrick Rodenbush. Rode in the bush? Did you get into the bush? I rode in the bush. Spokesperson for President Obama is Mr. Rodenbush. What'd you do with that bush? I rode in it. Rode in it? Yeah, I rode in it. Like, did you go to the mall? Yeah, I wore my seatbelt. Out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response, but these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Nothing in this document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that, I didn't open up the rest of it because I don't, frankly, care. Tulsi Gabbard posted this. I think today, 23rd? Yeah, today. New evidence has emerged of the most egregious weaponization and politicization of the intelligence in American history. Per President and real Donald Trump's directive, I have declassified at House Intel Oversight Majority Staff report that exposes how the Obama administration manufactured the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that they knew was false, promoting the lie that Vladimir Putin and Russian government helped President Trump win the 2016 election. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people, working with their partners in the media to promote the lie in order to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump, essentially enacting a years-long coup against him. Here are the top Obama Russian hoax lies debunked today. Oh, she's got them open up here. That's all right. I didn't actually look at these. Holy crap, there's too many to go. Dude, she's brought the juice. Oh, dang. She's brought the juice. Folks, how many pages we got? 46 pages of lies. Holy crap. That's pretty serious stuff. Here she is talking with Laura Trump on Fox. DNI sending criminal referrals and all this good stuff. I haven't listened to this yet. It's 3:20. Should be pretty good.
Give me your response to what we heard from former President Obama there. He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we released last week, and the documents that we will be releasing later this week that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment, that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that pulled President's Daily Brief document that you referenced that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council, and President Obama then directed Obama's ODNI, DNI James Clapper, to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence the outcome of the U.S. election. So this is the thing that I think people should pay attention to, is neither the message from President Obama's office, neither the statements coming from Democrats in Congress today and their friends in the propaganda media. None of them are addressing this fact that there was a shift, 180-degree shift from the intelligence community's assessment leading up to the election to the one that President Obama directed be produced after Donald Trump won the election, that completely contradicted those assessments that had come previously. The second thing I want to address that's very important, Laura, is that you in the clip that you played, you saw John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey stated with high confidence this January intelligence community assessment that they drafted at the direction of President Obama. The fact is that they used already discredited information like the Steele dossier. They knew it was discredited at that time, yet they used it as a source for this document that they claim to have high confidence in. They used intelligence that some of these intelligence community professionals rejected previously because of the lack of credibility and the lack of the ability to vet with any kind of confidence whether or not that information or intelligence was accurate and could be used for an assessment. There's a long laundry list of facts and intelligence reporting that directly contradict the statement coming from President Obama's office and those who are trying to deflect away from what actually happened, which was after Donald Trump was elected, led by President Obama, there was an effort to create a document that would serve as a foundation for what would be a years-long coup against President Trump, therefore trying to subvert the will of the American people who sent him to the White House in 2016.
Yeah. So they're going to fight us on this. They're not going to believe us ever. But this is what's coming out. So Catherine Herridge put this out. Declassified GOP intel report, Putin held back highly damaging Clinton info regarding 2016. Alarming health concerns, secret State Department meetings that could have swayed the election. Far worse than the leaked docs. Yet Obama's ICA omitted it, violating standards for a rushed, biased conclusion. Declassified GOP House intel report found Putin had more damaging information about candidate Clinton that could have been used against her in the final days of 2016 if they were trying to help Trump. The ICA's generic description of material Putin held back makes the reader unaware of significant information available to Moscow to degenerate Secretary Clinton. They had, and there's a bunch in here, but they had all sorts of allegations. Amongst the allegations that Clinton's health was extraordinarily alarming to President Obama and party leaders. Russian intelligence had details of secret meetings by State Department reps. The records make the case that 2017 intelligence community assessment was ordered by and subject to unusual directives from President Obama. If they wanted to help get Trump in, they would have released this. Now, the reason they wouldn't necessarily want Trump to come into office, and I mean, you know, there's a lot of us, and I'll fall on this one, I don't know, that kind of make it sound like that Trump and Putin and Russia, or, well, Trump and Putin at least, that they haven't had some sort of little, like, moment where they kind of bonded and connected and understood what we each got to do. And I don't know, I think it's downplayed by people like that we're not actually, I mean, again, Putin's all about Russia first, but also the world. And so is Trump. America first, but also the world. And I don't know where she's at. I used to think differently, but it really does look like they're taking power away from him. So not sure what's going on in China. I used to think, I hope that's still true maybe, but I used to think she was on the right side of these things. Well, I don't have my camera on. But I don't know. So a lot of info was coming out. We are going to have this rippling fun, if you can call it that, trying to get people to understand. And this is where common ground is going to be tricky, guys, all right? Because you're going to deal with people that are going to be on the other side of the spectrum. And we've got to find smaller places where, like, well, you know, wouldn't you say that it does seem interesting that they had information that the Steele dossier wasn't accurate? Like, they knew that. They knew it was kind of paid for in a weird way. Like, I don't even know where to step back. I'm still kind of trying to find the common ground. But don't just come hitting like, Obama's a cheater, right? Like, we gotta. So this is gonna be a challenge for every freaking one of us. We get to take this information and regurgitate it in the ways that need to be regurgitated. Trump Blast Shift says authorities have him 100% to mortgage fraud. I mean, if this is all we get him for, it'd just be funny as hell. If they actually bust Letitz James for her fraud in the mortgage stuff, that would be freaking awesome. Again, it's not a big deal. He shouldn't serve time for it. I would be pissed if they put him in jail for it, frankly. It's mortgage fraud. Who gives a shit? I just want him, big smack on the wrist. Want everybody to see you're a friggin' liar, too. You guys are busting Trump for the same shit. Hypocrites. Hypocrisy pisses me off more than many things. Is one of the things that literally will make me see red. Like for people that want to try to control me, there you go. It'd be like, just be a total hypocrite in front of me and be like, bro, like I love it. Trump put this out. This makes Watergate look like small potatoes. Victor Davis Hanson, senior fellow Hoover Institution. They are caught. Irrefutable evidence. They all go to jail, or it will never stop. Nobody will believe the evidence, which is overwhelming. Make America great again. I mean, again, this is going to be the hard part, folks. No one will believe the evidence. They won't. How does that work? I mean, ultimately, it comes down to us controlling the narrative. And I think we're focusing in the right direction. I think we're focusing on what is happening. I think we're focusing on where we can get ourselves out of this dark hole that we're about to fall into, right? Or we're about to fall into. So I think most of us would say this is probably saves more people than the other alternative. They wanted to kill off, 17/20ths? I think Cliff I used to say, or something crazy like that. Almost the entire population. I think it was something like 17/20ths. Basically, there was I think there was 8 billion people at that time. Anyways, anyway. I'll probably mess up the numbers, but it just used to crack me up. Cliff cracks me up. I actually tried one time to hook up with him, and he was too busy for me. And again, I don't. That's no disparage to him. I just think it was kind of when I stopped trying to reach out to people. I'm like, this will all happen. It's in God's hands. We'll just do that. I promised you guys Ron Johnson talking about what's going on. This is the Senate shutting down and all the stuff that's needing to happen. Do they vote? Do they shut down the government? I mean, there's so many ways to spin this and see this. I don't think anybody knows for sure. I really don't. I think what seems obvious to me is people on the left are very easy to manipulate into a direction. All you got to do as a person on the right, or just someone that's just not into being controlled, I guess, MAGA type persons. But you very easily just take a stance on something that's just morally easier than hell. We shouldn't transgenderize our children. Like that's pretty solid. Abortion, killing babies. I don't know. That's a tougher one. But transgendering our children? You're stealing children too? Oh, easy, right? Like there's a lot of really strong places. I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, we got these differences in how we come at stuff. Hey, I have no idea. Why even try to? I'm pulling the ripcord. I promised Ron Johnson I was going to say something. I don't know. Maybe it comes back to me. Doubtful. But this is pretty cool.
The Democrats are trying to obstruct, just like they did in Trump's first term, do everything they can to sabotage his administration, really to the detriment of the American public. So it's sick. I think we need to do a better job of pointing out exactly how obstructive the Democrats are. I think it may just boil down to taking the recess and a massive recess appointment. Because even if we stay here and we run the clock, you can do a couple every couple hours. It's still not filling these positions. I personally think the confirmation process is completely out of control. I don't care who the president is. I think the president elections matter. They ought to be able to staff their administration. As you point out, they can staff the lower level positions, but you still have over 1,000 confirmations. It's absurd. I can see a couple hundred, but that's where we are. We're going to have to deal with this. I'm totally supportive. I'll stick around if that's what it's going to take. But President Trump ought to be able to staff his administration just to start getting control over these bureaucracies. We've got a problem in the Department of Justice. We certainly have a problem within HHS. I know that the political appointees want radical transparency, but the bureaucrats, the deep staters, are really blocking that from happening.
1,000. He's still 6 months in. He's done what he's done. And he still doesn't even have his full staff. He doesn't even have it yet. Again, can you imagine what we're going to accomplish once we actually have everybody in place? Release the files! We'll get there. We will. And whatever even that means, by the way, which we've talked about. Virginia Republicans sound alarm over governor's race. It's a disaster. I don't know if she said it exactly like that. I don't know how they talk in Virginia. I figure it's kind of like Boston. It's a disaster. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears' campaign. I guess she's getting beat up on by this Democrat lady person. Well, dude, no. Where is it? There's a name in here somewhere. It doesn't. I honestly don't care. It's Virginia. It's why you all should have your own states and be involved with it. I'm bummed they don't have her picture in here. I think the article I clicked on, I think had her picture. She's a black lady. So let's just pull her up at least, so I don't look as crazy. Well, I don't think there's any help in that right now. I'm definitely gonna go down as crazy. But let's get some images here. There she is, right? How is this lady losing? How is this lady losing? Tell me. How is this lady losing? So I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to help her, but this lady's losing. She's probably like me and just not really smart with saying stuff they say sometimes. Like, hey, stupid ideas, stupid people, stupid things happen to them. You just say something and you're like, bah. And it's kind of true, actually, right? But some people don't like it. They beat you up on it. It's easy to destroy. So I don't know. Whatever the case is, we'll see. Most dangerous city in Germany is the one with the most migrants. Just saying. It's a new thing that came out. Talks about it. It's Bremen. If it's just in case you're like, ooh, where's the city I shouldn't go in Germany? I would say all of them right now. But that one for sure. That one for sure. Oh, yeah. This. Oh, Sayasan. Sansito. Sansi. I don't know how to Sito. I don't know how to say her name. Sayasan. I watched it more than once. Japan votes against globalism and multiculturalism. This chick stands against that stuff. Yeah, let's watch it one more time. Sorry. Not the whole thing, maybe.
センター議長として、万歳三唱を行いさせていただきます。一緒にご唱和ください。最高峰の当選を祝いまして、万歳！万歳！万歳！
I just love the culture. I don't know what it is. The bonsai, I love that. Like, I got tears in my eyes. And then this chick just arigato, like she's just bowing. Like, there's the reverence that does not exist in our culture that pisses me off. I wish we had more of it because it's just a reverence. There's a respect for each other. And it's very pronounced, at least in Japan. I think China seems to throw down pretty good in that department too. It's just, I don't know why. I think it's partly why, just to give you guys a little insight into my crazy. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. Something about it. But they're moving towards this conservative-ish Japan first kind of concept versus where we're at right now. Pentagon tightens rules on getting medical waivers to join the military. They're adding some more stuff that if you've got congestive heart failure, and no offense, I'm going to say something that's probably going to offend some people out there, but if you're a big fat fatty and you're trying to join the military, and you got friggin' congestive heart failure, yeah, you probably shouldn't be in the military. God forbid someone walks in and just goes, grenade! And it's done, right? You drop that donut right there, just and just out. You don't want that to happen. Not in the middle of a catastrophe like a pencil that needs sharpening and can't. That's it. They're getting rid of stuff like that. What else they got? Schizophrenia. Apparently you can't be fuck you, yeah. I don't know. That's even fair for schizophrenics. I think they have separate personalities. I think it was more Tourette's, but I have both, and I probably shouldn't be in the military. I actually have them. I'm sorry. Paraphilic disaster. I went full retard. I think I did. Paraphilic disorders will no longer be eligible for medical waiver too. So yeah, you can't like join and be like, no, it's okay. You don't have to pass anything. You're in a wheelchair for sure, man. Let's put you on the front lines. You know, sometimes trying to be funny is is what it's not good, right? You don't want to try. I think I did. Scott Bessent. I love this dude. Just knowing he punched, probably, allegedly, maybe I've punched Musk in his stupid friggin' melon. Gave him a black eye that he had to walk around with on camera because Bessent's like, bitch. Who's your daddy now?
Look, Joe, I think that what we need to do is examine the entire Federal Reserve institution and whether they have been successful. I'm speaking, actually, I'm going to be in the building this evening. There is a regulatory conference that begins tomorrow. I'm the keynote speaker tonight talking about regulation. The Fed as well deals with monetary policy, regulations, financial stability. And again, I think that we should think, has the organization succeeded in its mission? You know, if this were the FAA and we were having this many mistakes, we would go back and look at why has this happened? I mean, look at as you said at the top of this broadcast, there was fear mongering over tariffs, and thus far we have seen very little, if any, inflation. We've had great inflation numbers. So, I think this idea of them not being able to break out of a certain mindset, all these PhDs over there, I don't know what they do. This is like universal basic income for, academic economists.
Can you just imagine, like, ladies, this is just for you, just to make it really messed up. But this is the guy you got to hear whispering in your ear in his pillow talk. He's like, oh my God, the derivatives between right? Just like, I don't know. I don't even think I could make up. I had some stupid stuff that I was going to try to say. But really, like the way, poor guy, he's perfect for what he does. But yeah, from a 25-point derivative factor, and he's like Forrest Gump almost. He's like, no, he was like the guy buy my underwear at Kmart. That dude, Tom Cruise, and what's his face? That was a good movie. What do all those PhDs do? Bessent calls for fundamental reset. He's showing up at the Fed. He's gonna be there for another thing. But dude's like 6'4". He's like, I'll kick some damn doors down if I got to. He did. He's not saying that. I can't imagine him being that outrageously aggressive. But yeah, we do need to examine the entire Federal Reserve. He's talked about it. I don't need to play this again. I think I played this yesterday or the day before. But Bessent's a badass. We're also seeing this. A lot of people might be pushing this. Be wary. There is a fake thing going around. It's an AI-generated Jerome Powell quit. The actual seal is jacked up. It's AI created. At least that's what they're saying. It's not actually. It's federal. It's not even. So it's. And if they did, it'd be illegal to make and imitate a actual. That's why they make these types of things, like these little stamps. That said, in case you were wondering, I heard Powell quit. No, it's not correct, at least thus far. Trump and Bessent would both chime in, and that Witkoff guy probably. Any one of them would. If they come in and say, dude, yeah, he quit. I was like, wow, he fell from a window. If they say anything, I'll believe it. Otherwise, so Trump officials plan a tour of the Fed HQ on Thursday. We'll find out he's going to be there. I think they're kind of overselling this. So disappointing. Trump considering eliminating capital gains taxes on houses. He's like, but bros, at the Fed, we wouldn't need to do this unless you would actually drop the rates. Now, what this says to me is we need something that can allow us to remove the Fed. It needs to be significant enough in order to allow people to be like, oh yeah, we want these guys to, why, really? That's who we owe most of the debt to? There's going to be a lot of things that are going to come from this. Any debt that we owe to other countries, the ones that buy our debt and stuff like that, I think we should try to figure out how to pay back, because I think that's going to keep our books clean. But this private company owned by who knows who, I say, yeah, no, we're not paying you any of your debt. That's done. So I wonder how many of the trillions of dollars of debt we actually have that wouldn't fall into play. And then refinancing a giant chunk of whatever's left at the lower interest rate. or based off of our currency that we're going to create, treasury notes or whatever they are, right? U.S. notes, I don't know. Hopefully treasury, kind of. Only in that, for anybody that's got old treasury notes, like I've got some silver certificate treasury notes. I've got a couple of them. Collected shit over the years, right? Those are worth, well, they're supposed to be worth that amount of money in silver, which $5 in silver is not very much. But it's supposed to be worth that. So yes, we are no sales, no tax on house sales, or we get to be able to refi, but I think both would be preferred. But yeah, if your primary residence sells, you shouldn't have to pay capital gains. Just kind of a good graphic to show very significant places where the world oil goes, right? So about 100.2 million barrels of oil per day are shipped around. Just think of that for a second. That's a butt ton per day, right? Now, obviously, it's not each second. It's, there's one ship has, a billion barrels or whatever. I don't know how it works. But the Cape of Good Hope, 6%. By the way, Panama Canal is only about 2.1% of that whole amount. Strait of Hormuz, though. This area where all the Houthis and shit are, 20.9% of the world's oil goes through that stupid strait. Strait of Malacca, which is south of India, it looks like? No, India's over here. What is this? China, and up here's China. I don't know. It's Indonesia and stuff, right? Got some Sumatra and shit like that. That's from the coffee regions, I think. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I'm not my geography is at best. I forget what's that, Myanmar and all sorts of stuff. I don't know, whatever. I feel like there's some weird. India's over here, and yeah. I don't know, whatever the hell. 23.7%. Frick ton of gold, oil. And China's right over here, which is using a bunch of it. So just keep those things in mind. These are key areas that we're kind of nearby. Over here, I want to say, is close to where Diego Garcia is. So we kind of have stuff around. Actually, yeah, wherever Iran is, I think that's up in here. No, that's over here, huh? No, I think Diego Garcia's, I don't know. This map is so weird, the way it's laid out. All said, spent way more time on it than I wanted to. Being stupid, too. Like, that's always fun. Japanese auto stocks soar on Trump trade deal. Everyone's stoked on them. The company, like 15%, and they're allowing our products in. They've never done that before. They're now allowing our products in. Trump did a huge thing. Some people are going to own an American car just because it's cool to have one, because nobody else does. Chinese holdings of U.S. treasuries, plummet's a strong word, but they're going down. They're going down quickly, too. China is no longer really holding a lot of our debt, which, again, who do we owe money to actually? Let's pay the legit places, even countries, even if it's CCP, whatever. But let's pay them off, but not everybody else. Trump tariff forced top automakers to invest billions in the U.S. and ditch Mexico. GM is one of the people that's doing that. Also funny with GM, their CEO right here, this lady, they're staying the course on the EV thing because of the DEI hire, and their profits have dropped 35% since she's been pushing this. Year over year right now, they're down 35%. They were at $2.93 billion. They're now at $1.89 billion, pushing the thing that, one, no longer has a mandate, no longer has any sort of rebate anymore, like no longer rewarded. Nobody really wants them. They don't quite behave as well as you would hope. That's what I'd say. It's a little disappointing. Solar's a funny thing. I finally got that going on, and we'll talk about it. One of these days, I'll do probably a segment where I talk about solar because of a news story or whatever. But I got the app. I look very closely at it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting how it can be useful. It can be, for sure, especially if you're in a very sunny place. If you're not in a very sunny place, like when it's cloudy, it makes a big difference. Very big difference. Algo's gone wild. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about how a lot of algorithms that AI creates are going to be dealing with the stock market and all that kind of stuff. And again, once a thing gets weirdly programmed, or they put in a funny number, or something weird happens, right? And they make a mistake, a human error on programming, and the AI then all of a sudden just starts selling when it shouldn't. And that causes the price to start to change, which causes all the other AIs to start selling, that you immediately, within an extraordinarily short period of time, I go way past the possibility of like how quickly normal crashes used to happen and they were able to stop the system for a period of time to give everybody a breather. I think they'll be able to do more damage. I don't think there's a literal software hard cut per se, as much as there's like somebody, hits a button. So it'll be interesting because AI is going to do some weird stuff. You got China running around making AI that's going to kill people. And then they don't think, they're going to program it to go after bad guys. And they don't think that's somehow accidentally they're going to do a bad patch. Anybody that's worked in software, dude, think for a second, like I'm hoping to make software that's so perfect it never turns on the people. That's going to be tricky. Dow Jones, let's see, what do we got? Let it refresh here if it can. Gold's down a little. Interesting. It started strong, if I remember correctly. Is this it? Are we actually up to speed? We're up to snuff. I feel like it's taking too long. All right, so we're up a good chunk today. Gold's down a bit, 3,400 though. It's still up over that 35 number. Yeah, it was doing all right earlier today. Oil at 65. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Hey, look, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time here, but if you're still in a 401k or an IRA, highly recommend you think about diversifying. We got something coming up. There's going to be a bump in the night. This is a way to protect what wealth you got left over. That's all I can say. Up to 10% free silver, which is very undervalued right now. So if you actually would like my good friends at Goldco to help you out, go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. These guys are awesome. They're rock stars, best customer service ever. Again, up to 10% free silver. Also, they're going to do this, help you move this anyway, tax-free and penalty-free. And if you're looking just to get some precious metals, you certainly can hit them up on that. They've got some very interesting metals. You can check out their page a little more closely. But go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that silly system before they get out of you. Kerry Lake bombshell, talking about how the VOA managers met with the Chinese to discuss more favorable coverage for Beijing. So we now know that the VOA, Voice of America, was actually helping China. And China was sort of in control of it. We shut down a lot of the deep state's mechanisms they were using to take over this country. And fortunately, with programming, when it stops and they can't keep reinforcing it the way they need to, it does start to break down. And I think we're going to find that with a lot of these people they're going to start waking up just because the programming's sort of stopped. And you guys are going to be a big part of helping out with that. YouTube has eliminated thousands of Chinese and Russian propaganda channels, is what they're saying. I don't know how much I believe them, but yeah, supposedly about 11,000 channels they're taking down that were spreading propaganda. So if this is actually true in any sort of meaningful way, it's odd that Google's kind of going against the CCP right now, or the deep state, better way to say it maybe. Hard to say. UK approves $51 billion nuclear pound, probably, or maybe they converted it to dollars. That's what they're showing. $51 billion nuclear power plant. This would be the second one in England. One's already under construction. This is going to be another one. Good for you guys, man. You actually sound like you're going to pull your heads out of your arses. Romania is strong-armed into buying $2.3 billion Israeli anti-aircraft systems. $1 billion, to be specific. I don't know, it bugs me when people do that too. $2.3 billion of Israeli anti-aircraft systems. Cool, sort of, and it's Trump or something, but Romania is actually really, really broke right now. So this is a weird part of the EU thing, and they're agreeing to be, to spend 5% of their GDP, which they're like, shit, man, we don't, damn. So they're having a hard time. EU's already trying to cramp down on them. Now they're being forced to buy $2.3 billion in defense. Again, they need to take care of themselves. And I think that's a big part of what Trump's kind of saying is we're no longer going to be the police of your area. You guys need to take care of your own shit. You all got technology. We don't need to keep flying our jets all over the place. We're going to focus and more worry about us and our area, our poll. Viktor Orban saying 20% of the EU's new 7-year budget would go to Ukraine. 20% of the whole budget for the EU going to one country that's been ripping everybody off. Still wants to keep ripping everybody off. But the United States stopped giving them money, so now you, Europe, are on the hook. for all that corruption money because you're still controlled. I can say it. Though I saw that Candace Owens is getting apparently sued by the Macrons for her discussion about how Bridget is possibly not Bridget's. Thought it was interesting. Zlat71 posted this. Not every dollar allocated to Ukraine by Biden for weapons was actually spent on them. Trump talks about this. It's pretty cool. Check this out.
And I'm very proud to tell you that with NATO, the European countries essentially will be buying our equipment, paying 100% on the dollar, and then they're going to distribute it to where they're going to distribute it, which is going to be to Ukraine or whatever, but they're buying it, so we're not going to have the expense of giving away. Biden gave away $350 billion worth of equipment, or cash. Worse than equipment, cash. So we want to find out about that someday, I guess, right? But they were supposed to buy their own equipment, but I have a feeling they didn't spend every dollar on the equipment. But they are brave. Look, they're fighting a hard fight, and we're no longer going to do that. Our great companies, we make the best military equipment in the world, and our great companies are going to be selling now, and they'll be using it. So even those people that don't want to be in the war, and I'm one of them, but even those people are saying, wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So they'll be able to defend themselves, and we will no longer be paying for it. And I think that's a very big thing.
Yeah. We're not going to be paying for it any longer. That's for sure. Ukraine loses a French-supplied fighter jet, one of the Mirage 2000 jets. They've also lost, I think, 2 of the F-16s already that we've given them or allowed them to have. So, yeah, Ukraine's not doing well in the big picture. Not at all. And it was didn't get shot down. It was a malfunction. The pilot ejected. They didn't say if it was hit by a missile. Shouldn't have been. Protesters chant Zelensky is the devil in Kiev. That's probably not good for his acting career. It's a lot like all these movie stars that are coming out that are just like total deep states. Like you will never be able to be in a movie again. You understand that, right? Nobody it's like every Disney movie they put out right now, nobody goes to. Germany agrees to deliver 5 more Patriots to Ukraine, which will take U.S. years to replace. And yeah, they're going to be destroyed reasonably quickly. I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're really good. And they'll survive a while. But, setting them up and stuff like that, like there's a period of time where it's not, I don't know how quick they can pop one of them systems up, but it shows up on a satellite pretty quickly. That's for sure. And drones and everything else, they could make it difficult. So they're going to give up their last of their Ukraine, their bits. And again, they can make their own systems, and maybe that's some of what Europe's doing. They're like, we're just going to have our own stuff, and we're going to give up all that U.S. stuff. And the U.S. is like, that's awesome. If you want us to replace it, you can buy it from us. But cool, thank you, because we're not giving any more of our shit. Our shit's busy right now. Sorry. Anti-Zelensky protests start to erupt in Ukraine after crackdown on the anti-corruption agencies. So the corruption is coming to the attention of the peoples of Ukraine. And this might be the very final part of what Russia really wanted to accomplish in this whole thing, is getting Ukraine freed from this this corrupted CIA color revolution that happened, 2014, 2012, somewhere around there, right? When Yanukovych, or whatever his name was. Biden could say his name. I can't. I'd have to see it in front of me. I actually did see it earlier. That's it. So much going on. Let's see. What is this? Horror as 8 children from... Yeah, same. This is weird. So there's this choir. They're all performing at this Massachusetts concert. Same church. And 8 children all start having seizures. Like, what is that all about? That is weird. I mean, unless they're all like part of some like seizure choir, like I don't know if they have those. They do. I guess that would make sense, right? If you got a choir full of people that have seizures all the time, then it was like, shit, half of them went down though, huh? Dang, makes it tougher. The show must go on, right? But yeah, that's really messed up. I don't think anyone died, so I apologize for even having a sense of humor sometimes. Like, it's more accidental than it is intentional. that said, we're changing the world. Some of us do it and piss people off along the way. Nah, you got to do what you got to do. I'm just glad you guys stick with it. We've had a lot of fun. A lot of people. Thank you guys for sharing that video at the front. That was pretty cool. Seeing that, the Psywar by Upside Down Media. Just happy to be a part of some of these things, and glad I made it. All said, I love you guys. We've got a lot more to talk about. I've got a Law of One show coming up tomorrow, which is actually pretty cool. It's gonna be fun, and we've got music, Vietnam era style. I don't know. A couple songs might be questionable. It's the same time frame, but great music. It's going to be fun. Really good music coming up on Friday. So, again, both of these things happen at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. The Law of One stuff's Thursday, and music's on Friday. So if you guys can join, that'd be fun. A lot of cool people are hanging out in chat. It's usually why it's worth it. That being said, we're going to continue moving forward together. And that's what it's all about, because where we go one, we go all, rippling everywhere. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.